My boyfriend has the emotional level of a sponge. I have been with him for over 5 years. It was cool to be with a 17-year-old because he was mature and cool, but now that I'm older, he's still in the mind of a 17-year-old. Now, don't hit me with the whole, "Oh, all men are like that, haha." Because my mom keeps telling me that. However, as goofy as my dad is, he knew when to stop. Yesterday, we were in a car accident. Some asshole tried passing on a double line, couldn't pass before a car came and took it out on us. Cops were called and was arrested reckless driving. I was taken to the hospital for injuries, only minor, thankfully, and I was panicking because I was recently kicked off of state medical insurance for making too much money, and the first thing out of his mouth as I was being put in the ambulance? A joke. And at the hospital? Another joke. I told him to stop with the jokes and the nurse threw him out because he kept touching everything in the room, getting in my face and trying to make me feel better. We've had a million talks about not joking around like that all the time, but he's like Chandler from Friends, where everything he says is a cheesy one-liner that only gets uncomfortable chuckles from everyone in the room. And it's not just the jokes either. He doesn't want to go to college, or get his GED because he's not good at school, and barely got a job last month which got me kicked off the insurance to begin with. He doesn't want to do anything in his life except for getting high and playing Call of Duty Mobile all day. I'm not even naggy girlfriend either. I support him financially and all I ask is for him to pick up after himself, but he can't pick up the bags of chips off the floor and breaks all the cups that he leaves on the floor because he can't even put it on the coffee table because it's closer for him to reach on the floor. I don't want to break up, but at this point, that's all I want to do. He's not funny and puts me in a bad mood and gets mad because I am the one making everyone uncomfortable. Our friend's mom died and he said, "At least she won't tell you what to do anymore." Like, what the fuck? Any actual advice would be nice. Thank you for reading. If you started dating at 17 and have been for 5 years now, it's okay to move on. You guys were kids. You grow up a lot on those 5 years, and if he's not meeting your pace, go be free and date and sleep around and do you. That's what your early 20s are for. People outgrow people. It's a part of life, and the idea that you can be with the same person for forever that you meet at 17 is cute but super unrealistic most of the time. All men are not like that. You sound like you'll be happier once you break up. My advice: ditch M. But like in joke format. What's a joke that's newly single? You. I don't want to break up, but at this point, that's all I want to do. I understand being this conflicted, but it sounds like you kinda know what you need to do. You should not be supporting this guy, he's not worth it. Drop him. He sounds terrible. What are the positives? Honestly, you don't have a boyfriend. You have an adult toddler, and you're a single mom. Toddlers leave things on the floor because it's closer. Don't pick up, play games all day, and don't understand social boundaries. Part of growing up is learning impulse control and the rules of generally polite society, and it sounds like your boyfriend missed that. So the question you need to really truly ask yourself, as hard as it is, do I want to raise a toddler with the body of a 23-year-old man? If you're not willing to do that, you need to move on. I know it sucks and it's hard, because I had to ask a very similar question at the end of a previous relationship, but it is something you need to honestly reflect on. Sounds like you have a starter boyfriend. Fit for purpose at the time you got him. But you've since outgrown him and it's time to upgrade to something bigger and better. No shame in it. Happens all the time at 22. 10 years from now you will look back at this relationship with a smile, provided that you aren't still in it. Plus, once you break up, maybe he'll also find someone compatible with him as he is now. You are dating a loser. You can continue doing that, or you can stop dating him. It's up to you. The only advice that makes any sense is break up with him. You obviously don't even like him anymore, and that's fine. But don't try to keep forcing it. Leave him. He sounds insufferable and he offers absolutely nothing to the relationship. He sounds more like your child than a partner, to be honest. You'd feel so much better when you break up with him. He needs to grow up. 54 female here. I've watched women waste years with immature men like this and they never fucking change. Cut your losses now. He doesn't want to do anything in his life except for getting high and playing Call of Duty Mobile all day. I'm not even naggy girlfriend either. I support him financially. You are enabling him being a deadbeat. I used to be a bit of a deadbeat 10 years ago. My wife gave me tough love and now I'm a fairly competent adult. But this situation is exactly what a deadbeat enjoys. He's being provided for and he can do whatever he wants. If you want to salvage this, you need to give him tough love. At this point though, maybe it's too late. Let it be a lesson for the future. Call of Duty. Mobile? Oh boy. Ditch him. You invested 5 years in this relationship. Imagine coming back here in 5 years and asking this question about your immature significant other you have been with for a decade. Except now you have supported him many more years, may have kids by that point. What would you hear? You wasted 10 years of your life on this guy, cut your losses now. Take that advice now and save yourself the heartache of wasted time. I would agree with the other comments. From what you describe, I think a breakup is the way to go. I also think it's the most healthy thing to do. It sounds like you've done a lot of growing up in these 5 years, but he hasn't. I'm guessing that your continuous support has been enabling him to just stay a 17-year-old. I don't mean for this to sound like you're to blame, because you're not. He's not your spoiled child. You're not his mom, he's supposed to be your boyfriend. From my personal experience, I believe that breaking up is not just good for you but also for him. I myself did a hell of a lot of growing up while single, and I think he could benefit from that too. Never tie yourself to a person, man or woman, if they don't invest in education and self-improvement. Not even finishing high school in a world where college degrees are near worthless is a new low. At least Chandler was rich, worked, and cleaned. You already know what you have to do. I'm confused. How did him getting a job get you kicked off of insurance? Sorry, but it sounds like you do want to break up? The car insurance of who hit you should pay your medical costs. It doesn't sound like you are happy. He is funny isn't enough to hold a relationship together. Girl. Sorry to be curt, but yes, break up. It may be hard, but the relief you will feel once you're through it will surprise you. Trust me on this one. The best way out is through. Go get it. You got this. God. You're going to be so happy when you start dating a grown-up. If he's as emotional as SpongeBob, you'll be fine. Are you sure that's a boyfriend you have and not a son? He sounds like your child. You're taking care of him financially, picking up after him, and all he does is sit around playing games. Maybe you should reconsider your relationship op. Not all men are like this. I don't think he'll change either. You just have to reflect if you're going to be happy with a guy like this long term. Do what is best for you. Me and all of my siblings, when we were 17, we were working and contributing to the household. Being a teen does not excuse you from responsibility. Being an adult does not mean you get to do whatever you want either. There are basic rules of survival, one of which is to not live in filth and clean up after yourself. He is failing life. You choose whether you want to fail with him. This is the crossroads, the moment of clarity. Don't spend years of your life with him only to be back to where you would be if you left him now. Leave love. I know that's pretty much what everyone says on here, but in this case it's the right thing for sure. Right now he doesn't want to get the most basic degree possible, play video game, and get high. Next thing you know he's a druggie, not shaming drug addicts, but it's almost impossible to have a healthy relationship with them until they choose to get help, and dragging you into a financial pitfall. He doesn't sound like a catch either at this point. It'll suck and probably feel impossible, but after a few months you'll realize how free you feel. You're an adult. He's in the body of an adult but refuses to grow up. Get away from this idiot. Let him figure out how to get high and play video games without someone paying his way. You shouldn't be having to do that, anyway. As long as you pick up the slack, he can be as lazy as he wants in every way. Just never thought someone could be that emotionally lazy. Guy's an idiot and can't read the room. There's a time and a place, and he seems to never be present for any of them. Sheesh. This should be your last straw and you pack up your gear, or pack his up, whichever's easier, and go your separate ways. If his friends object, he can go live with them. See how long they put up with his shit 24/7 before they get annoyed themselves. 5 years is a long time to invest in a relationship, especially if you started at the age you did. It can also make it very hard to walk away. But you said it yourself, Op. You know a man can be fun and joke around with you, and still be capable of being serious when the situation calls for it. Getting in your face while you're actively in the hospital after having just gotten into a car accident? Your boyfriend isn't going to grow up and mature, it seems, anytime soon. Please, spare yourself any more heartache and anxiety and leave this man child. You grew up in 5 years, and he just stayed 17, like you said. My guess is he'll be this way as long as you put up with him. Time to kick him out into the real world and give him a chance to grow up. It will also give you a chance to meet someone who will treat you with the love and respect you deserve. There's a time and a place for everything. He is not getting it. Adult men aren't like that. You'll be okay. You won't have his expenses to weigh you down. Sis. Why the hell are you wasting time with this dude? He's a bum. I've seen 17-year-olds with more motivation and responsibility than this guy. Push the deadweight off your shoulders and move on. Break up. Call of Duty Mobile? Bro. Should've dumped him yesterday. He doesn't have to grow up because you are. You are facing the challenges and he is coasting. Do you really see yourself in 5 more years with this person still playing COD or whatever game and not being bothered to pick up his shit? Do not be in a relationship where you wish the other person would change. Relationships are about being with someone who you are happy with as they are. You are not happy. He is not going to change. Yeah, please break up with him. Maybe that'll be the push he needs to emotionally grow up. You don't deserve that. I don't want to break up. My God, why not? It just sounds like you're not compatible. You aren't happy in this relationship. You know what to do. I mean, it kind of sounds like he could have ADHD or something adjacent, especially with what sounds like restlessness and a lack of impulse control. But it could also just be his personality, I don't know. Either way, his problems are his problems and you don't have to put up with it if you feel you can't anymore. If you want to salvage the relationship, maybe urge him to see a psychologist? So he can get some help calming down and organizing his thoughts, life a bit better? But if that doesn't seem worth it, then there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. You should be your number one priority, don't let anyone else change that. Get the hell out of that relationship. He's not going to get much better, if anything he'll get worse, with an attitude like that. Especially when it comes to getting educated and holding himself accountable, such as cleaning up his own mess. It's pretty much a red flag if someone isn't willing to be working on themselves to improve and not be a effing burden to people around them. Everyone on here is quick to jump on this guy as being a loser and a deadbeat, but the very likely reality is that he is very mentally ill. This sounds like depression mixed in with some anxiety and a possible addiction. While it is in your best interest to cut your losses at this point, opt for the sake of your own mental health. Your boyfriend doesn't just need to grow up, he needs therapy. Bad choice in the beginning. You're going to have to figure out what your future is going to be for you, not him. DTMFA. Leave now while you can. Those 5 years from 17 to early 20s are probably the most integral to your personality development. If he's like this, he won't get much better. You will still be starting a lot of things for the first time, and starting a new relationship with someone truly fulfilling will be easier than you think. You know what you need to do. He is not going to change. So if you cannot live with it, you leave. You would be much happier with someone else, to be honest. It doesn't seem like you even like him. The good news is the car insurance should pay your hospital bills, and the other good news is you can drop that immature guy. Live your best life, girl. You don't have to put up with that shit. Call of Duty Mobile? Really? Anyway, him joking around while you were injured and being taken to the hospital is unacceptable. I'd be livid. If you love him, talk to him and lay it on the line. Let him make the choice. If you don't love him, then it's already over. Hope it helps.